I spent thousands of dollars. The front teeth were failing. The bottoms were gone. I did not know this was an option.
Today, I'm joined by two people who will share how they found the best dental solution for them. What temporary solutions did either of you initially try in fixing your dental situation, and why did those not work out?
I continued going to dentists and getting pulled, crowns, root canals on anything. I spent thousands of dollars, thousands and thousands, and time, pain. I mean, the bottoms were gone. The front teeth were failing. I felt hopeless for a permanent solution.
I called dentistry the Band-Aid approach. I've had 15 root canals in a lifetime, and the crowns would break, the teeth would break, and they'd have to pull those teeth. My grandparents had dentures, and so I saw that classic example of teeth not staying in your mouth when you're eating. I wasn't going to spend my older years having my teeth popping out.
When was dental implants kind of the option you were shooting for, and how did you find Nuvia out of that?
I had just begun to look at possibilities of dental implants. Don't know where that idea came up in my head, and I'm thankful one of the things I saw was Nuvia and Nuvia's commitment to teeth in 24 hours. Just coming from a dentist who said a year and a half worth of work to fix a bunch of crummy teeth to 24 hours, I got to look at that. And so I did. I went in, and in my situation, the doctor that did my teeth had a 2.5 minute video that was on YouTube or TikTok or something. And so I listened to her, and just the way I am in my thinking, I was sold. She talked my language. Most dentists talked over me, and they're using terms that I didn't know and frankly didn't care to know. I knew in 2.5 minutes that I wanted to see this particular doctor. I went to Nuvia. Of course, she was there, went through the whole process. And the one thing I remembered from some of my checking things out before was, if you had severe bone loss, you might not be able to do it. When my doctor said out loud, "My bones are good, I have no bone loss," I knew I was in.
And Duncan, I think you had a concern that many people do. Am I a candidate, right? And that's why there's a 60-second quiz to find out if you may be eligible for permanent teeth in 24 hours. And you can find that in the description below.
Did not know this was an option. So Carrie went at, well, first of all, dentures. I grew up, like Duncan said, with both my parents who had dentures. And every morning I would find their teeth in the cup in the bathroom. It's fine. I understand dentures work for some people, but to me, it was not what I wanted for myself. I think that's why I didn't continue the process after my grandpa passed away. He had already started they ripped so many teeth out of my mouth so young. I was being prepared for dentures. That's ultimately what my future looked like. But I did not finish the process. I did not want dentures. I've heard stories. You ever noticed that you just feel like something's not right for you? I just felt like that was not the option for me. I've seen what my parents have gone through. I've had a lot of people that went through it. So I was going to do everything I could to just continue to try to keep fixing what I had. No idea what I was going to do in the back, because now I have no teeth past my canines on the top or the bottom. There was nothing. It was just nothing. We're already pulled, and there was such a drop down from the tooth here to my bone loss after years. It was like okay, so now dentures really aren't even an option because how would they sit if there's a drop down from where my bone is down to where there's no bone? It was dramatic. And you would see it. If I opened my mouth, you could see how high up the bone loss was and how low it was after. 'Cause it was probably 15 years from the time my grandfather pulled all my teeth to when I started like really digging in and trying to figure out how to save what I still had, which turned out to not be savable. I mean, really, it was just very disappointing. So when because Carrie and I have known our kids went to school, we've known each other forever, and we were really good friends well, we're married now, but we were best friends at the time. He went to Nubia, and that was my first time hearing about implants, like it being an option for me, like an actual could happen type thing. Um, and then, of course, I have fear like, would I even be a candidate? Now, I mean, I have gone through so much with dentists. I had about this much hope in being uh, able to fix it this easy. But I went along with the process. I'm like, Gary's teeth were so beautiful. I helped him heal through the process, and I was just amazed at the difference it made in him. And he's like, he didn't know I had these problems. And I was like, I was jealous, but not jealous in a mean way. I was jealous because I wanted that for myself, but so happy for him. And he says, I know who we're going to call. And it was terrifying for me to make the phone call. He dialed the number and they got me in, and I found out I was a candidate. And you can't put into words how it feels when they come in and say, you've been approved. You can do this. There's so much fear even from then until you get your surgery. Like, is this really going to work for me? What's going to happen? What's so much fear because of everything that's gone on. And it's literally everything they say. It was for me. When you go into a place, how they treat you when they first meet you is so huge for people that have dental anxiety. Huge. And you can feel it as soon as you walk in there. You can tell if somebody's like, you're not bad teeth. Well, no kidding. Why do you think I'm here? I'm not here for the free cookie. Come on, of course. But the love, there is something special about the way Nuvia hires. You do not just hire, it's inspired. That's why people feel comfortable going there. It's not just because the work is outstanding. You feel love and connection and understood and heard, and there's not any judgment. It's like they want you to smile and be your best self just as much as you want that. They just can see the end picture better than you can because you're like sad and lost hope and been through so much. We chose Nubia because they stand it apart.
What actually made you decide to, proceed with Nuvia after the consultation? What did it feel like when you heard the price?
The price didn't scare me. If you think about how much I spent, I actually did this because we went home a week after I had said I wanted to do it. Of course, I'm money smart. I'm all about budgeting and making sure it's going to work. But we kind of did a rough estimate of how much I had spent, rough estimate of how much I had already spent, and then how much I was going to have to spend to keep fixing, to keep fixing, to keep fixing. And that's not even counting the emotional price of it. That was so small. The Nuvia cost was so small compared to the thing. People are like, oh, that's a lot. Oh, because you're looking at a full price. Break down the dentist. Break it down into one full payment. It's not even expensive for what you get. That's the thing. It's like you go spend this much on a vehicle or a luxury vacation or any of those things, and it's what's a priority? This is a priority. I mean, you have no idea how big of a priority it really is until, you're on the other side of it and you're like, whoa, that was really a priority. I'm so glad I made that choice. But like, add it up.
And not only like um everything inclusive, like you're saying, like all the benefits and stuff down the line that you receive from it, but also like how the like anesthesiologist, like that's included in the price.
And they work with you. They're not asking for this money. Oh, give it all up front. They didn't expect that of me. I'm just a normal person. I am by no means wealthy or rich. I mean, I would like to be. I'm working on that. But there for it to work out for me the way it did, that shows how they really want this for people. It's not about them. They're passionate about helping you. They want you to be able to smile, and they know the importance of that, and they work with you. They don't expect that all up front. I wouldn't have been able to do it. I would have been like, ain't never going to happen. But they work with you, and they want that for you, and you just got to give them a chance to work with you. If it can happen for me, I just barely started going to college. I was not an educated woman. They work with you. They're amazing.
Duncan, what about you? What was, your consultation process like, and how did you feel about, the cost and what all that entailed?
Well, I had a little bit of understanding from doing a little bit of the research. I had a dollar figure of what somebody had said it would cost. It wasn't Nuvia's. I had no clue about Nuvia. When I went in, they checked my credit to see what kind of an interest rate I could get, and thankfully I could get a good one. And my consultant told me it was going to be $450 to $900 a month for my full mouth to be done, and it was far below the average of somebody else I had looked up online. So that only reinforced that this was a good idea. The fact for me was I was sold on them, and this is an investment. And I had gone home before, after first talking with them, and asked my wife, told her what the cost would be, and I said, "Are you comfortable with us spending that kind of money?" She said, "Absolutely. If it makes your teeth better, let's go for it." And so, and I don't live in fear. I think I really ache for some people that are so fear-based in their thinking, and most often rightfully so, because of what they've experienced. I don't have that kind of thinking very often in my head. My only criteria was I had good enough credit, thankfully, to get it done. And my wife said, if that's what you want to do, let's do it. I didn't need any other validation. I didn't go around to friends and say, what do you think about this? It just made sense. And I've said this before, I'm a cynic at heart. So the idea of walking into Nuvia, for me, it was everything I thought and hoped it would be and more. Mm-hmm. My nature is, if it sounds too good to be true, it is. And if you walk into it, just wait for the brick to hit you in the head to say, "Hello, dummy, got the next one." Wasn't that way. And I'm now 3 years later with not one single issue or problem or concern, and I'm thinking, I'm a really smart guy who had enough common sense to go someplace that offered something that I frankly had no concept of. I just had a bunch of crummy teeth and was tired of having those crummy teeth. One of the things I had done, again, Michelle, you're the numbers lady, and I sort of kind of did the number about what it would cost for a year and a half worth of work, and I came up with $25,000 easy. I mean,
Wow.
that was without any real knowledge of it. And when those teeth were changed, when I got my new root canals and my new crowns, the Band-Aids put on until the next one breaks. And I figured if I lived to be 75 years old, it would be easy to double that $25,000. And this is not something I'm going to spend the rest of my life throwing more money at. And again, I believe that this is a remarkable concept, because if we just pause and think about how much pressure we put on our teeth, doing nothing but just living, every time we eat, I mean, it's just remarkable what we do. And I'm 3 years into this without any issue. My wife gave me the permission for us as a couple to invest in me. And that was the kindest thing she's done for me in a long, long time. And she's a wonderful lady in my life. But to just say, if you want to, let's go do it.
That's all I need. That's all I need.
Yes, I know friends that it would take them years to talk a spouse into something like this, because it's beyond comprehension. At least it was for me. I like the idea. I believe the people. I'm pretty clueless. I just go in there, open my mouth, and they do what they want to. And the simple truth was, I trusted Nuvia after a lifetime. I didn't have fear of dentists. I just didn't like them. And so here I go to another dental place, and it happens to be Nuvia. I just went in to get rid of some crummy teeth. And here I am 3 years later, being able to share my story and the joy that Nuvia has provided me, not only with my teeth, friends and people that I get to share my story with and things. And nothing better than talking to somebody who's looking into this on the phone. And our stories so often are just about that. They're so similar. And, I'll say one thing and they'll say, oh, yeah, that's it. Remarkable the opportunity I've been given to share this story, because there's a way more people, it seems like, who have fear and anxiety around dental work. And if I can help them a little bit to walk in the door to a place like Nuvia, that's a blessing on my end. I'm really grateful for that.
And we're grateful for you, Duncan. What was surgery day like? Were you nervous about going under? And what did it feel like coming back in 24 hours later to get your permanent set of zirconia teeth?
She took out 27 teeth, sent me home. I had my wife put the ice packs on my face because I was just sleeping. That's the best thing about how this works is I didn't feel a thing. I was really blessed. I didn't really have any pain. I had some discomfort and not much swelling at all. And I came back that next afternoon. She put in my teeth. I look at my teeth in the room, and the doctor's off to the side. My wife's sitting in front of me when I see my teeth for the first time. And she teared up a little bit, and I didn't want to cry. So I just started giggling like a little goober. And I turn and look at the doctor, and I said, "Woman, come down here and hug me." I just
Oh.
called my doctor woman, and she absolutely did. She just gave me the biggest hug, and I thanked her. And talk about a moment to top off all this.
Mm-hmm.
What a blessing that was. So if you don't know, I'm really sold on this place. They did good by me.
They did good by me. I'm sold. The actual going under wasn't scary. My fear was, is this really, it was like an internal fear, like, is this really happening? Is this really going to turn out like I wanted to? Because I had so many letdowns with my teeth. And so when I went, it was early and very peaceful. I can't remember. I think they put something over my nose and they were like, count back. And I think I got to 97. And it was very nice. And then I came to really lovely, and they were all looking at me and nice, and it was really peaceful and a good experience. I remember the ride home was kind of fun. It was like probably like when you get your wisdom teeth removed. I'm sure I was a little bit ditzy. Got home, propped myself up in the bed, and slept. Uh, and I got used to it pretty quick. I mean, and once the numbness wore off and I could feel my tongue and kind of feel around my mouth, the pain and I swelled up like a chipmunk. I used a lot of like frozen vegetables, but it was overall a very pleasant experience for me. I mean, the surgery, but I was pleasantly surprised with going in, the process of it, the ease of it. Their bedside manner is amazing. You're already kind of like a little bit out of it when you come out of anesthesia. Very professional, guided you right out of it and got you home. And they called and checked on me after too, like, how you doing today? And I'm like, well,
oh my goodness. I love it.
It was a good experience. I'd do it again. I don't want to, but I would.
Now for You Ask, They Answer. We'll have our guests address specific questions you have about today's topic straight from the Nuvia Smile Maker Club Facebook community. Ryan said, "So I have a question. Can anyone point me in the direction of how to make this affordable? Can you tell me guys how you did it?"
Got my payment, and I was already a sous chef at Harmon's. I was blending my finances with my fiance, and I started putting like so much away of every paycheck. And then I also added some, I don't know if you guys know about door dashing. It's a great way to make some side cash. So I have a Nuvia fund, and it's like a savings account, and I put money consistently, so much in there, so much in there, so much in there. And so there's a like a savings account that I'll end up with more than I need for that month. And so it's already a boost onto the next month. And you go without some of the unnecessary things to get the necessary things. Like I would not buy the earrings or buy extra clothes or buy the Nike shoes. I put the extras towards my savings account for Nuvia. And so that's how I pay for it. I budgeted it.
Liz said, "I have my consultation next week. I'm a bit nervous and anxious, but excited as well. Was it worth it for you?"
It was absolutely worth it for me. I think the saddest thing for people is they allow their fear and anxiety to overwhelm the potential of what Nuvia could do for you. And I say to folks when I talk to them about things, I encourage you to replace your anxiety and fear with excitement and joy. We can do that. It's all in our brain. It's simply a matter of, for some people, believing you're worth the journey. And you are. And we are living proof. that you are worth this, because we've been nothing but blessed by our experience with Nuvia, and we want that for anybody who's had the slightest bit of what we've experienced. We want that for you as well. So I'd do it tomorrow.
That's amazing. That's absolutely right.
Very true.
Everyone deserves to live the life like they should, you know?
Well, and you really don't realize how much it's going to impact you. You really don't. You think, oh, it changes everything about you in a positive. Really amazing.
Sheila says, "Hi, I'm new to this group. I recently joined, but I've been looking for a better solution than what I'm doing now." So what advice would you give to Sheila in kind of starting her process?
Hey, Sheila. So, for starters, I would take the 60-second quiz to find out if you may be eligible for the permanent teeth in 24 hours. It's a simple way to start you on the process. And from there, whether you're eligible or not, it would be a phone call to Nuvia. Don't be scared of the phone call. They're just as amazing on the phone call. And you can find that quiz link in the description below.